at a place where we're actually witnessing and being a part of change. Hang Time started in 2014. And again, excuse me because I'm a little overwhelmed. I really am at this point. Normally I'm not short on words, but looking out at all the loving faces and all the incredible accomplishments that you all have made over the course of the time that I've known you has got me feeling a little sentimental. But we're here for a reason. The reason today is that this space that you're in was once a place where human life was degraded. When you go through the tour here, you will understand what I'm talking about. You will see how at some point human beings treated other human beings with complete disregard, and they treated them like animals. And this was one of the oldest prisons in the country. And so where you sit right now is literally a piece of history that most people aren't even aware of. So I need you to really take in today. Think about your ancestors, people who were housed in these deplorable conditions, unhumane conditions, and how today, most of you that are here that have either been just and impacted or have family that are just and impacted, you people are moving forward in a positive way. And so as we celebrate the induction of the Connecticut Hall of Change today, this is our 5th year. And I often share the story. 2019, after watching a newscast where a reporter said, in other news, a career criminal is going back to jail. And I looked at that individual's face on the screen, and although I did not know that individual personally, that person looked like every one of us. That person looked like every single one of us that has been through a lot. Trauma, and more trauma. And that person never chose to be a career criminal. I don't know a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old that wakes up on Monday and says, you know what I want to be for the rest of my life? I want to be a career criminal. Doesn't happen that way. Circumstances, conditions, depravity creates career criminals, quote unquote. I hated the title. I took exception. I was laying in the bed with my lovely wife, who's here today. Raise your hand, pretty lady. She's here today. And I had to beg her to let me hold the remote. And I put down the remote after that story and I literally said, I'm gonna do something to change. Because I understand, I've never been incarcerated, but I understand the difficulties over the last 14 or 15 years, the difficulties it takes and the strength and the endurance and the resilience it takes to overcome the obstacles, to get back into society and be productive and be forward-leaning. I understand the challenges of going back to a family where time has passed you by. I don't care if it's a week. Things change in 1 week. Things change in 1 day. So my people who have been incarcerated for years on years and their children have grown up, all of that started to resonate with me that those people are stronger than most of us on any given day. In order to make it that far, get pardons, create their own businesses, they're stronger than a lot of us on any given day. And I wanted to do something to change that perception of the felon. And we did. I pulled together the greatest team. Ms. Liz Shapiro. Ms. Liz Shapiro, let's hear it from Ms. Liz Shapiro. Incredible in the arts and preservation. Pulled together individuals from the nonprofit world, key stakeholders, from Career Resources, Scott Wilderman. Pulled together an entire group of people who have lived experience as well as people who are presidents and CEOs working in the nonprofit world. And I threw my idea out there. I had 1 sheet of paper and I said, this is what I really want to do. And within 4 days, I had $12,000 in a grant because of Liz and the others through the Hartford Public Foundation for Giving. They believed in my vision. We put it together the first year. I wanted to honor people who have come home, not just turn their own lives around. It's one thing to come home, get your degree, get your life on track, do great things for your family, reconnect, but it's the next level. When you come home and you do all of those things and you reach back and pull people up and help the people from your community that you once created havoc in. Those are the people that we need to really champion. Those are the people that the Connecticut Hall of Change champions. And we're really, really lucky to have some of our original Connecticut Hall of Change is here. Please, let's hear a big round of applause for my good friend, the original 2020 Hall of Change, Ms. Larice Harvey, Queen of Green. Also, Miss Robin Cullen. When we first started out, we really didn't know exactly what we were gonna do, but you know how I am, I can build a house while I'm living in it, right? I build it while I'm living in it. But today, 5 years later, I'm looking at this space. You have to understand, this space has never had this much energy and life that you have brought today. You have all brought the energy today, and it's all for a good cause. We are here celebrating. I want to also thank Miss Morgan. Where is she? Morgan, raise your hand back there. Everyone recognize Miss Morgan. Because when I first came here, I'll be honest with you all, I tell this story. I first came here and I realized that we're gonna hang pictures of great people in a prison. They've done everything to get away from prison. And Ms. Morgan educated me real quick. And she said, listen, this was a very horrific place. But what the Hall of Change will do is change the imagery and bring new life and a new image to the idea that no one, absolutely no one, should be held in deplorable conditions like this ever again. So when you walk in that front door, you see members of the Connecticut Hall of Change smiling, just grinning all over themselves. Because they're proud and they've made a true contribution and a difference in their communities and in the entire state. I want to also acknowledge a guy behind the curtain, literally, Mr. Jeremy Brewer. Mr. Jeremy Brewer. And all of our other committee members for the Connecticut Hall of Change selection. Please stand up. Dan, please raise your hand. Dan Braccio, the legend. Dan Braccio. Ms. Maggie Young, also a grade 8 inductee from 2021. I can't see it. Who else is here from my committee? Larice on the committee, exactly. Appreciate you. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time because if I stay up here too long, I'll start dancing and shit. Y'all don't want to see that. Truth of the matter is, I couldn't be more proud. Today, we're going to do the unveiling of the plaque for the class of 2023, an incredible class of people that have shown and proved and were voted in by our selection committee of professionals and credible messengers with lived experience. Those individuals that are being inducted today, I need us all to celebrate each and every one of them. They're going to get 3 minutes to talk to you about what this means to them once we do the unveiling. We also are very, very fortunate to have not only the first select woman, and she said earlier, she said, I'm the first selectman, and then she meant woman. I said, that's right, get it right. So I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much. We are really, really honored to have a U.S. District Court Judge, Mr. Vernon Oliver, who's amazing. So gracious of him. I'm going to be saying a few things in a moment. It's just like hang time. You don't know who you're sitting next to. You sitting between royalty on both sides. You like a chocolate Oreo, girl. I also want to acknowledge my family that came all the way up here from New Haven. Most of you have now claimed these two people as your family as well. Talk about growth and struggle and overcoming obstacles. My good friend, my sister, Miss Cindy Bankhead Dillon, stand up, just raise your hand for him. She's a mama Jew. She manages her son, the incomparable, the incredible Chase Dillon, Disney star. Stand up, man, let me see you. Look at him fly his foot. Man, I'm sick of your little ass. Sit down. I love it. So listen, without further ado, I want to just introduce our speaker. He's going to say a few quick words. I was supposed to have a sheet from State Rep from New Haven, Miss Robin Porter, who's one of our biggest supporters, and they're in session, so she wasn't able to be here. She called me in a panic. But of course, we are going to be graced with just a quick couple of words from Judge Vernon Oliver. Let's hear it for Judge Vernon Oliver.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm honored once again to be able to represent to some small degree and say a few words in honor of all the people being honored today and over the last 5 years. And this is without question one of the best things I've done in my career as a student, as a law student, as a lawyer, as a state judge for 15 years, and now as a federal judge. So I thank Charlie for that. I've been waiting for something to give meaning to the things I wanted to do when I had more time, when my kids were a little older and I could dedicate myself to something. And this is that something. So it is my pleasure. And I did just find out a month ago that Ms. Harvey wrote a book, and I ordered it, and I should have it Saturday by Amazon, so I'm looking forward to reading it. So, yes, indeed. I think there's a workbook too. We'll see. I got work to do. That's a fact. So, I was sitting next to the young lady from Bridgeport. So 2 minutes about myself. Grew up, born and raised in Bridgeport in the North End. Yes. You call it Trumbull Gardens. I'll call it Beardsley Terrace. You call it whatever you want to call it. But it's on the North End. So it's my pleasure to represent Bridgeport here today. And to the extent I could serve as an example to anyone, I'm humbled to do that. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about the example all of the grade 8 have set every year. And I was talking to one of my other selection committee members, talking about the grade 8, and what's most incredible about the selection process is that all of the people who are eligible in doing these things were doing it before there was a selection committee. So doing it for themselves, for their communities, for their families, not just to be honored, but because it is the right thing to do, and it's the thing that they will do, and the thing that they have done to give back. So, Old Newgate Prison, and I'll wrap it up here so as not to take too long. I'm looking forward to hearing from everyone who's being honored today. It's amazing. I'd never been here. I'd had some prison tours in my years and some visits and things like that, but seeing this and learning the history, that the idea of what you do when your copper mine is not profitable is you put people in it. And copper obviously is mined underground, and so who hesitated when someone suggested, well, prisoners will be underground? Well, they have to be somewhere. Why not underground, in the dark, in the cold, in the wet, in the mold, where men worked and slaved to dig copper? Just put some people here and keep them here. And the idea that it was seen as a humane alternative to corporal and physical punishment, or putting people in the stocks or in the pillories. And I'm sure some of the people at the time thought they were being humane and gracious by sticking people underground in the dark instead of beating them. And those who have had trauma know that some of us would rather just take a punch and move on our way than be confined and have our spirits bound. So it is only fitting, and it's a fantastic idea to have what is, without question, what was a monument to literal Eighth Amendment cruel and unusual punishment violations be instead turned into a monument to the heights to which the human spirit can soar if given just what we need here in the time of spring: some room to grow, some sunlight, and a little love. So thank you very much, and you should all be very happy. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for Judge Hotso, because Judge Vernon Oliver, she called you Hotso. All right. You know what? Here's the deal. I look around. I want to acknowledge one more of the original Connecticut Hall of Changers who showed up fashionably on time. Let's hear it for Mr. Darryl McGraw. Raise him up deep. Let him know you're in the house. Appreciate you, brother. Making that trek from New London. Boy, it's amazing. I loved it. All right, so listen. This year in particular, there have been some incredible inductees into the Hall of Change. And as Judge Oliver alluded to, they don't get put in the Hall of Change for what they did within the last 6 months or recently. They can't go ahead and start doing things just to be put into the Hall of Change. This is an accumulation of things that they've done over the course of their life after coming home. And so we go actually back as far as 4 or 5 years back to acknowledge that this is a true trend of change. We are literally honoring the transformation of human beings from once feeling no hope to actually not just instilling hope in others, but being the example of change and what it looks like. So without further ado, I am going to unveil the plaque, and then I'm going to ask each of the 2023 Hall of Change members to come up. If you guys would all just come up over here, all of my 2023 Hall of Change members, come on over here. That's you. Thank you. All right, look at this. Let's hear it for them, they're beautiful. It's amazing. All right. So Judge, Jeremy, are we all ready to go? Understand, you guys have seen the foyer. This is the newest plaque where their names will live forever. I'm not going to be inducted into the museum. The individuals here, their stories, their likeness will live on forever because of what they've done to give back to the communities that they once violated. So here we go on 3. I need you all to help me count it down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you don't want to stand up here, that's fine. You can stand in front. But I'm going to just explain that this will be hung up in that foyer as soon as we're done here. There's snacks. There's a lot of stuff for the kids to do. Miss Liz and Miss Morgan put out cookies and sugar high for the kids, as well as crayons. So, yeah, we're going to have little sugar high kids running around. It's all good. This is family, y'all. I need you to look around. I really do. I just need you to look around. This is family. This is Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, New London, everywhere. Connecticut's represented as well. And the ones who are here to celebrate today, I want to first introduce you to Miss Tracy Bernardi Guzman, 2023.
Hi, everybody. I have a trouble with not saying a lot, so I just want to say that I'm really honored to be able to do this work. After serving 23 years in prison and being totally powerless during my incarceration, under the prison, while serving 7 years in solitary confinement, I learned to talk to other people under the door and help them get through their issues. And I started to see my own purpose, and I started to be involved with a lot of things that helped me to see my own purpose. And I realized that everything that I've been through is so that I can help other people. And when you know your purpose, it is, and you can actually get a platform being a part of something like nonprofits, everything that we do here with the Great 8 and Hall of Change, all of these outlets help you to be able to put yourself in a position where you really can help other people, and to be able to know the power in helping people get housing. You know, it is a power because it feels so good knowing that that person came to you with hope, and you were able to help them see that hope through. And that's what Charlie does for all of us. Yes. And honestly, I feel like so powerful, even though I had no power for so long, but it's like a perfect power, because the power to help other people and the power to make society a better place at the same time is like, it's just, I love it. And I thank God for that. So thank you.
Congratulations, Tracy. Truth be told, Tracy, in 2020, her and Larice Harvey started a nonprofit very effectively. And in 2020, Tracy, who I did not know very well, walked over to me at the celebration, and she said to me, I said, you should probably be nominated. And she says, I'm not ready yet. She says, I know I'm not there yet. She says, but I'm gonna keep doing the work so that I can be. So let's hear it from Ms. Tracy. Thank you. Next, this brother's a little too cool. He's a little too smooth. I don't know if I like that. Good looking somebody. Listen, here's another story about this gentleman. His name is Keith Smith Jr. And again, when he first heard about the Hall of Change, he was excited about it, and he didn't realize he was actually eligible for it. And when he found out he was eligible for it, I had to shake him off my leg. I'm like, go away, go away. This brother right here, when I tell you put in the work, he put in the work for change. He came out the gate hot. He was telling everybody, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And through many conversations, counseling sessions, we talked it through. I love this guy like a cousin. And now, he is the man. Welcome, Mr. Keith Smith Jr., 2023.
I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be here today. You're right, Charlie. When you stand up here, it looks, it hits you. It hits you. I appreciate the love and support to everyone that took time out of their day to come and support us. It's been such a journey, as everyone is going to tell you. We all went through things. We overcame the many no's that returning citizens have to face to be here today, and we're happy. We're happy to overcome all the past, trials and endured everything to be here. So I'm just happy to be a part of this group, this wonderful group. Look forward to working with all the individuals in the crowd that's pressing for change inside of the Reentry community, because we need everyone. We really do need everyone's help to push this agenda along. We're making a lot of positive impact inside of Connecticut. I was happy to hear yesterday that Connecticut is leading the pack when it comes to reentry. Give ourselves a round of applause for that. Give ourselves a round of applause. Charlie's reaching out to other cities and other states to try to get this Hall of Change going. You're definitely pushing that agenda, and I think we should continue to help him do so and amplify that message. The more that we talk about the Hall of Change, what it means to us, then others will also see the importance to bring it to their city, their state, for those individuals that are returning home from incarceration in those areas also. So just being able to do that work with him and with you guys is just a pleasure. So I just want to say humbly, thank you. Thank you for being here and giving me this opportunity to be, acknowledged for the work that we do in the dark that nobody really sees a lot of times. So thank you.
I told him I can't stand him either. Up next, a ray of sunshine. And I'm going to put this out there because I'm old and I've been around for a long time. And you know what happens when people get old? They get unafraid to speak the truth. And when we were young and we see these old cantankerous people, we were like, oh man, she's so, or he's so. But now you get it. Now you understand why you say what you want to say. And the truth of the matter is, there's a whole bunch of folks that have gotten inducted into the Hall of Change that got what they came for and they disappeared. I said it. They got what they came for and they disappeared. They should be here, honoring their fellow inductees, but they got what they came for. That's all right. The old saying in the hood, I rocks with the one who rocks with me. It's really not rocks, but you know what I mean. I didn't say it. It's kids here. But this next honoree has been a ray of sunshine. Ever since she was notified of the induction, she's been working hard to help push the movement and the visibility of what we're doing. And I must say to you all, this is actually a crusade that we're entering upon. That's what it is. It's a crusade where we are trying to change hearts and minds. We're trying to overturn the view and the image that people who were formerly incarcerated are them over there. That's not the case. The people we are honoring, no one can put them in a box and say, hey, these are people that are surviving and doing well. This young lady here started her own nonprofit. She's been amazing, and for the first time, I'm gonna get to hear her speak. She tells her story. We go in, all of the grade 8ers are required to go into DOC and engage with Department of Corrections officers before they actually go into a facility to help humanize the experience. We also have been invited to speak to every new class of prosecutors that is coming into the state. And recently, we've been doing police academies as well. So this young lady, I heard her story in full the other day at Milford Police Academy. An amazing, amazing woman who says, I take accountability and I also take pride in what I've done to change and give back. So let's hear it from Ms. Jackie Purcell.
Everybody knows I'm not good at this. I'm the one in the behind lifting all of them up, so this is really hard. I learned really quick when I was incarcerated that dehumanization and taking away humanity is the worst prison that I think anyone can go through. And when I came home, I remembered and I looked at family members that are also dehumanized, incarcerated along with loved ones, and I felt those family members needed to be lifted up as well. So that's the work I like to do the most, is working with family members who have loved ones that are incarcerated. I met Charlie years and years ago, not knowing it, and this organization brings chills throughout me because Connecticut, we got it right. And I tell you, I have one thing I could say that could tell you what I really feel. Is I saw Rocky V the other day, and at the end when he's in Russia and he beats Ivan, he says, if I could change and you could change, we can all change. Well, Connecticut's doing it. Charlie, we're gonna do it throughout the country, and I believe in it 100%. So thank you all so much for being here.
Boy, you know we're in good company quoting Rocky. I love it. I love it. This next young lady, I didn't meet her. I saw her on a video. Someone mentioned her, and she had been nominated. And of course, as the selection committee, we have to look through people to make sure that what they're submitting to us is actually factual and accurate. You know, because anybody can write a story, but we have to actually go through and look to see the work that they've done, the level of what work they've done.